Dual set.
Heart
to heart. Noonas podcast입니다.
내가 제일 잘 나가. 내가 제일 잘 나가. 네.
You've been waiting for this, haven't you?
Yeah, I just feel so bad that I'm just stealing a lot of jokes because I haven't thought of that before.
Oh, because you haven't. I was surprised no one's really had taken advantage of the 21 joke yet in 2021.
No, I just only took one picture, and I just started beating myself like, why didn't I think of that?
But we're back. Noonas podcast is back in 2021.
I'm Jenny. I'm
Jenny. We are back. Obviously referencing one of I think I need to get more into 21. Iconic group of the second generation.
Before Blackpink's and their popularity, it was them who did this really cultural act.
Yeah, they are the Blackpink before Blackpink. So, and I don't even want to say that because 21 was their own thing and they were all amazing. But that's another show. I think we need to go digging deep into the second gen groups. But we are back, and wow, we're getting started insanely into 2021 already. With
we think things are going to get better in 2021, but with seeing how the things are playing out all over the world, wow, man. Just
I was planning on recording last week. And then there was an attempted coup in my country. So yeah.
This picture that my sister sent me is meanwhile in Korea there's a heavy snow and they're all making snow ducks and little snowmen. Meanwhile in America.
Story time. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That Wednesday before the coup happened was the best Wednesday ever because it was all cute with Namjoon and his 7 ducks and DTS because he was making jokes because Duck Tansoying on. And it was adorable because all the idols were sending photos of this big snowfall they're having in Korea, and it was just cute, and we were all in a good mood. I was talking to my friends.
Awesome.
Great mood. And then there was an attempted coup at the U.S. Capitol because people can't be what losers or something. I'm not sure. Yeah. That was a whirlwind day, and I'm just
there's snowflakes in Korea, it's all wholesome, and then there's snowflakes in America.
Some kind of snowflakes in America, that's for dang sure. But we're done. Let's get away from American politics because this is a K-pop show.
Although there is some politics in Korea, but sometimes
there's some intersection of American politics in Korea. Hilariously enough, but that's again another story for another day. But I mean, besides that, we still had some drama happening in the K-pop world, which we're going to get into later this episode, namely the whole GOT7 situation with them leaving their company JYP. We're going to dig into that whole entire thing because that's a whole juicy story. I feel but we have a couple album releases before then. Just little quick, I think, mini reviews before we get into the big story of the day. Because we're not hitting epic levels of album releases we were getting at the end of 2020. But a couple groups here and there, just I think taking advantage of it being a little slower. Getting into the new year.
Month of January, okay, no one's really releasing some stuff, so we're just gonna put it out there.
Yeah. Nothing not major groups, not your NCT or your BTS or anything like that.
One in February, but it's a Japanese album. Yeah.
NCT, yeah.
1 to 7.
I know, because we saw those teaser pics and we're can they not rest?
I feel bad. It's just you just finished your Resonance project, and now you're back with doing a Japanese album. Well, geez, man.
I know. Also, rumor has it they might be NCT Japan happening. We're not sure.
Sunshine
Subunit
have a new unit, which I'm really hoping Japanese or Japan.
Okay. Oh, also, quick question, because this was a hot topic in my group chats. Before we get into the album reviews, is it NCT or is it NCity? Because apparently it's both.
I don't know. I just put NCT.
Okay, because like apparently like there was this whole discussion. Is it NCT or is it NCity? And apparently because they do say both in their songs. So
tomato, tomatoes, it doesn't really matter.
yeah.
NCity, NCT, Neo City, Neo Culture Technology. If you want to get really technical with it,
it's whatever you want to make it, I guess.
Or just calling 23 crackheads. Sorry, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's more apropos actually. So, but should we? I'm trying to think which album should we get into first. Should we get into Treasure? Or should we get into Idols first?
Maybe we can get into I-dle first. I guess that was like my first time like listening to it during work when it's not all busy.
No,
I have more things to say with I-dle.
Okay, yeah, let's get into I-dle. I mean, Treasure, just literally, they're like less than 6 months old, so they're very much, and there's a repackage. So let's get into I-dle. Stylized parenthesis G I-dle. The G is silent. If I start saying G I-dle, I'm not saying because I'm trying to be wrong, but that's what it looks like. So apologies. And I'm still trying to get used to the fact they're just called I-dle and not G I-dle. So, but they just came back with their 4th mini album. I believe it was their 4th mini album, I Burn. On Monday here. And I guess I have to say, see, I'm about to do it. I-dle.
It doesn't really matter. I-dle, I think they didn't know. It's not like people are gonna like be like really spasmodic, like, oh no, it's supposed to be I-dle.
I know.
I don't think they really care.
I know. I'm like, if Neverland's come at me because I'm mispronouncing it wrong, I'm not intentionally trying to mispronounce it. It's just because it looks like G I-dle, I swear. But they just came back with their 4th mini album, I Burn, which is, I guess, their follow-up from their first full album that they dropped last year with Dum Diddy, which Dum Diddy was a fun song. I think a little bit more different than what I've heard from I-dle's previous music, because like I think they have like a style that they're really good with. Like a lot of their songs follow the same progression.
Yeah, or like a similar formula within the songs.
Exactly, like a similar build up and stuff. Because even the new single off of I Burn, is has that same kind of progression too. Where they, Yeah, it's just the beginning, it starts slow and then kind of gets into it. And then like the chorus always has them like kind of like doing like this onomatopoeia kind of esque chorus. Because it's not really lyrics, it's just them kind of like saying like la la la, or in this case it's hwa ha.
Which means it means flower in Korean, hwa. Because it's even CL from like formerly from 21 also has like a single called hwa as well, but with not an extra A. So it's kind of funny, like we're seeing like some similar titles coming out.
And apparently it's like it all kind of flows together. So interesting enough, because the intro track to the album, Han, Alone in Winter, is tied back to their first digital single that like they dropped right after they debuted back in 2018, which is Han Alone, which is I think one of my favorite songs of theirs.
Because it flows. It's kind of like my first time with I-dle themselves. Like the first time I've like really got into them or be interested in the group is listening to Oh My God as well as Lion. I haven't heard like a lot of their songs like Dundee.
So because like this is like when they first debuted back in 2018. Like I was kind of, that was when I was sort of starting to get into K-pop, so like they were kind of hitting my radar because they were one of the first girl groups I think that actually like I liked their stuff that wasn't so super girly like you get from with Twice or like any of those other like more bubblegum girl groups. Like they had a bit of a more mature-ish sound. I mean, not as mature as like a Mamamoo. But
I think like Mamamoo, they're more like harkens back to like the like old classic 90s R&B group from like America. I think theirs is like still has like a K-pop essence into like I-dle, but they have like more of like darker morose themes into like their concepts.
They very much do. I mean, a lot of their stuff has that. Even like they're more up like brighter songs that have some of those darker tinges to it. I kind of look into like something like Senorita from 2019, which is a really good song as well.
Oh, yeah, I kind of feel like also like well, we'd probably classify under like more brighter sounding songs, but they still has like some like probably the lyrics or like this elements have like it's a bit of like a melancholic feeling into that as well.
Yeah, because they're referencing a lot of obviously the winter and like winter into spring and the fire blooming into a flower. Yeah, fire blooming into a flower.
And fire. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of imagery with that in the song itself and in the music video too. And the music video is beautifully done. There's a lot of beautiful stylization in the music video.
I think how I interpreted like this one. You know how like from because I'm more familiar with the Oh My God and Lion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I liked how like a bit of like the switch up of like of the visual elements. How Lion and even Oh My God have like more of a European medieval, almost like a cult type of like motifs in their background, and I like how this one is way different because I think looking into the music videos, a lot of like the flowery elements to me harkens into more of like the East Asian arts and the paintings, as well as like the background that they have is like, yeah, I see some of those in like a lot of like Asian architecture and and paintings. So that's how I feel.
It is. And then like, even the music itself has some like those more I guess for lack of a better term, Oriental kind of sounding
that's how
notes to it. So it ties together very well. And yeah, it is very much like what you'd see like, more like Japanese or Korean, East Asian-esque imagery throughout the whole music video. And I have to say too, the song is very, very understated, but it's understated in a good way. Like it's not like bombastic in your face like we see a lot with a lot of girl groups as of late. This feels very like understated.
Or a bit subdued like from like their previous songs. It's like, okay, I can appreciate that.
Like it's Oh My God, it's pretty much in your face. I mean, there's some understated, but like, oh my God, it's more in your face in terms of I-dle's type of music. But yeah, this is very kind of brought back, like kind of reined in a little bit, but it's still really beautifully done. So I really enjoyed it actually, and I listened to the album in full today. I mean, like I said, I really do like the intro track on Alone in Winter. It's a great transition.
I put like the first track along with and Hypen's intro Walk the Line, as well as Stray Kids entrance from their Miro album, because I think like the first track from I-dle, so it's a great like opening track, and it gives you like a setup of how this album's gonna like sound like, and I really appreciate that. I really love it.
It's super atmospheric. Like it really puts you in the mood to listen to this album. So
I'm a sucker for atmospheric music.
Me too. Like I was like listening to this and I'm like, I'm getting inspired to write something because it just like it puts you in that frame set and that mind.
Yeah, those types of music it always makes me want to like travel. For me, I want to go out, but it's cold outside, and plus we have like the COVID still fighting. We're still fighting the COVID situation.
This works because of Alone in Winter. But and I also have to give I think a good shout out to also the last track in the album, Dahlia. It's really was really beautifully done.
It's so much meaning behind like the title, as well as like the music and the lyrics written in there. Because if you guys like know about like the meanings of flowers, for Dahlia it's usually like stands for like elegance, grace, as well as like long-lasting relationships between the partners. But if you go with like Black Dahlia, it signifies like the betrayal and sadness. So it kind of perfectly fits of like how I-dle is supposed to be, and like how like they are in like their music is. They're really beautiful, and they're like in their music as well, adding such like despondence and like with it. It's just it perfectly describes I-dle themselves.
Yeah, it really does. And I also have to give a shout out because this is another group that actually does a lot of production on their end. JYP Entertainment, which is the group that I-dle is under, they produce a lot of the stuff. They have a lot of the major lyric and music credits, especially Sonyeon, who's I think like the main rapper of the group. Like she's a great rapper, like hands down. I think she's one of my favorite female K-pop rappers.
Like I can distinguish like her sound and like her rapping style is like it's really snappy and just like it's kind of almost intimidating more than like any other like
It's almost like Lisa from Blackpink. I would almost kind of compare her, like her rapping style, almost like with Lisa from Blackpink-esque. But like she's got a very specific cadence to her rapping, and I mean she's very, very popular. She's produced a lot of stuff, and she's also had some like pre-release singles before she debuted. She's very, very, very obviously with KDA. With the League of Legends Vocaloid band. Soyeon's a big member in that, as well as one of the other members of I-dle, and it's escaping my brain right now which member that is. Because I know they're with two other American artists, and then they do all these releases for KDA, which is really, really popular with the League of Legends community, to the point that they've actually released quite a few songs as KDA. So
it's amazing to hear that they give them a lot of like writing credits or like more creative liberties to produce their own music, even such a young band for like came in 2018.
I mean they're
pretty much it's not really common for like a lot of like K-pop business, especially how they want to mold their artists to be like.
Especially in a female group too. Like I mean we see a little bit with this with Mamamoo, especially. Who does all the producing over in Mamamoo? Because Moonbill does a lot of the producing and stuff too. So like, it's not very common we see it, but it's really nice to see, and like the fact that they take pride in their work and doing their work. So and you can tell that this is definitely their song. This is definitely their style and stuff. And
definitely,
it's very beautiful done. Like I said, I think. Was coming out of the gate, in 2021, kind of feeling this whole like, winter into spring transition. I've seen a lot of groups actually cover that like whole feeling winter into spring.
Spring day.
Flashbacks to spring day, like all hail Queen Spring Day. But it's. I really do dig it. Like I really do dig. I-dle stuff, and when I do drop something new, I definitely will make an effort to go listen to it, because I do enjoy their stuff. So
of course, and also like a quick some of my favorite songs is first track with Han, is that correct?
Yeah, Han,
as well as I like also like Where Is Love, because it kind of has like that melancholic bop into it. It's like almost like a sad girl hour, but you're like dancing at the same time. So depressed, and then you're just dancing.
It's not hot girl hour, it's sad girl hour now.
That's like some of my favorite songs from that album too.
Yeah, so it's a really good mini album. Honestly, like they put a lot of good work into it. So, big props to I-dle for another great solid album. I think from them. Hope it translates into some kind of music wins. I mean, we're kind of in the slow period now. So, although from my hearing, like Dynamite's still dominating the music.
I know
some of the music shows.
It went up again on the billboards like worldwide. It's like.
The song never dies, and I don't know why. I really don't know why, because we moved past Dynamite. We already had B, and we're past B, so I don't even know anymore.
Even like Dynamite just like took a Life Goes On in a music bank show, like, and then everyone's like doing like trending on like Twitter, like BTS versus BTS, BTS.
Yep, we're to the point now. We're fighting against each other. So way to go, Army.
The gif of like the character from Fight Club just punching himself.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, all I know is apparently Subin is going to basically nail the choreography to Dynamite, because he dances to it every time they win on the show Music Bank. So poor Subin. But so we have one more album release this week that we were going to cover quick. This one's gonna be a little more of a quick review, because this is a rookie group. Also, they quote unquote call it a first album, but it really is a repackaged of their
studio album, but it's a repackage.
But it's really a repackage of their singles, their release singles. So who I'm talking about is the rookie group Treasure from YG Entertainment, and their quote unquote first full album, The First Step Treasure Effect. I think we really need to go sit down and talk to YG about them calling things first albums and stuff, because between Blackpink and this.
Yeah, Blackpink and their very first studio album is 8 tracks. It's like as much as a mini album that any other group would produce.
Yeah, like, I mean, for crying out loud, I saw Stray Kids, like, they had a whole full album, and then they had a repackage that had 8 new songs on it. So, you know, like,
yeah, but it is my first time listening to like a lot of Stray Kids, Treasure's song from the album, so I had to listen to that after I-dle.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, Treasure is a relatively new group. They just debuted back in August of this past year, so they are barely 6 months onto the scene. A highly already popular group, because they were on like one of those reality like forming the group shows back in 2018, I believe, is when that aired. And so they were originally going to be like, there was a lot of issues because they were going to be 2 separate groups, and then one person dropped, so they just merged everybody together. And it's like, it's a massive group. I think there are 13 members.
12
members to Treasure. So like, you know, as I'm getting here to, you know, I've now memorized all the members of 17, which is a 13 member group. I'm working to memorize all the members of the Boys, which is another 11 member group. And now there's Treasure with 12 members, and they're all really, really young, like really young for me. But
they're little kids.
It's like, you're all babies to me. Like, I'm sorry, this is me in my 30s. I'm like, you're all babies.
Yeah,
stop.
Like, they're meet down, they're gonna pat their heads. Oh, you got a good job.
This is exactly what I'm gonna do to Nikki from Hyphen, because the kid's freaking 15. So, but anyway, getting back into Treasure. So yeah, they're a more relatively new group, although they have started winning some rookie awards. They did win
under YG Entertainment, which is you know, with 21 and Blackpink and Big Bang Icon.
Yeah, Icon winner. So some winners on their under that group too. This is kind of like, I think like Treasure's kind of like their big group that they're trying to push right now in terms of boy groups, because Icon's kind of fallen back after the whole BI scandal. YG's kind of been taking a step back between all the scandals they've had between with the BI thing, the whole Burning Sun scandal, which involved them heavily.
YG artists, like falling into a lot of scandals, but hopefully this will be a clean slate. Hopefully, you know, like,
hopefully. But yeah, I mean, they come back with a 10-song album, but like I said, it's basically a repackage. 6 of the songs were released previously in groups of 2 songs apiece as 3 like pre-release singles as they debuted here. So it's like almost like every other month we were getting songs from them. And then there's just 4 new songs on this album itself, with the single My Treasure, which is the single that they're promoting right now. Which I'm sitting here and I'm like, what is exactly is Treasure's like sound? Because like I feel like they're kind of hitting everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. I noticed most of the Treasure, like, okay, like they can be like this really fun bubble hip hop group, but some of like the elements that I hear from Treasure, I makes me like reminisce back with like some of the other YG groups, such as Icon, as well as like Big Bang. It's like, they borrowed some elements, and then I just hear a bunch of those stuff in their songs and in their music and production. So that's something like still have to find like their identity as a group and like what makes them Treasure. They're in the, and then but there's something, you know, there's still like fun tracks, like some of like the songs, few tracks that like I was like, I was caught off guard because, and I started getting hyped. But again, it's pretty much, I've heard like that kind of like thing from like either Icon or Big Bang. But so yeah, hopefully, you know, in the long run they find their own thing.
They kind of like define their own sound and stuff, because like we had like definitely more like they were definitely playing more EDM in their last single with which I will say this. I'm an auntie. I do not like that song whatsoever.
Actually,
I know you.
is my guilty pleasure. Like
Is it a guilty pleasure for you?
Yeah, I can tell, like, or I can acknowledge that there's some beats, or like some of like the composition feels a bit jarring, or it just like it's kind of like the transition into like either bridge to chorus is like a bit wonky, but yeah, it's still like I still like jam to it.
Yeah, I keep trying to listen to it, and it's like it's just not grabbing me. Like it's not. I don't know. It's just not grabbing me whatsoever. Like I did like their debut, Boy, when they came out with Boy. Like Boy, like that was fun. That was cute.
Yeah, Boy. It was my first time like listening to Boy when I was at work, and I almost like. Yeah, I was about to get fired, but I like when they got to the end, because Icon. If you listen to Icon or even Big Bang, they do some like last minute switch ups that they change the beats and they made it like more like faster or faster. That's pretty much what like Treasure did with Boy. And when the beat drop and it starts switching into like a more heavy EDM, like oh shoot! And then I was like shook at it. I was shook, and then I was like, I started like I almost danced like in my office. It's like nope.
Yeah, like it was a very solid debut, and then just everything since then it's just been kind of like okay. I guess you guys are still trying to find your sound because I would say like my Treasure is very very cutesy. Like it's very Boy Next Door esque, kind of boy crush song.
Tamer than like Big Bang and Icon. They're like
very
so
tame.
Hard.
Yeah, like it's like kind of getting on like more Boy Next Door kind of vibe. Like like this is the guy next door. Like and like the meaning behind the song is really really nice. I was reading into the lyric translations, and it's nice because again talking about like things getting better and stuff, and like your treasure being inside you. It's like it's supposed to be very inspirational and whatnot. But again, as most stuff is,
I think I'm more into they're more like faster paced bops is like Boy as well as I Love You. I think like something that you would hear in the club and they started like just like jumping around. I think that's more in tune with those kinds of songs. Like, I think that's my style. That's my
yeah. I still like. It's not like anything. Like it's like not like or like TXT, like they play around with like with the genres and stuff that they play because Big Hit loves to play with genres as we've seen with BTS and now TXT.
Oh yeah, like they
love to play with the genre, but it's still very much like their like quote unquote sound like you could tell it's a TXT song. As I'm trying to relate the groups like more fourth gen groups here. Even Stray Kids, like even though they started out had a little bit more of a rock hip hop vibe, and like even then too, like but they had a sound. Even ATEEZ had like a sound when they first debuted with Pirate King and Treasure. Hilariously enough. But like they had a sound and that they've built on. But like I said, as I'm sitting here listening to Treasure's current discography of 10 songs, I'm just like, it's all over the map. And I'm like, you guys just apparently haven't figured out what's sticking to the wall yet.
Yeah,
like I see potential.
I think it goes the same when we talked about aespa, like the new girl group from SM. They still need to like have their own because I think like their debut songs or like some of the songs that they have, it's you hear it from like any other girl groups, producing that kind of music is just trying to find. And I know like K-pop is such a hectic business. They put out a lot of songs every time, so it's hard to like be like unique for a group. So hopefully the same with Treasure. Like hopefully they have their own sound and like have like an identity of what makes them Treasure.
I hope so too, because I mean I see a lot of potential with them. Like they already have a very established fan base already throughout the world because they've been highly anticipated, much like Hyphen. But even I'll say Hyphen has like at least a sound. Like even with the 6 songs I have within Hyphen, there's a sound there. I don't see that with Treasure. So I'm hoping to see I guess hopefully find them settling into a sound and like a style that they like can call their own. But for right now, like I'll listen to it and like if it grabs me, it grabs me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I don't know. I feel like YG's kind of letting them kind of go to the wind here and just kind of like we'll figure it out eventually.
And also they're gonna be like rumors have they're gonna be putting out another group. I forgot if it's a boy or girl, but Yeah. The big four are going to be debuting some new groups this year.
Yeah, I was in the rumor that I think Big Hit's supposed to be finally debuting a girl group too this year.
All the best.
And yeah, there's going to be some major debuts coming this year. It'll be crazy to see how some of these fourth gen groups hold up through that. The ones that have established themselves already and who are currently working their way to establish themselves as the kings of the generation. So we can only see. I mean, like I said, and they've won rookie groups awards mostly because they think, again, they have the title. They are under YG, and YG is synonymous with a lot of stuff. But I still think there are other debut groups that are a little bit more put together. But that's my personal preference. And I'm not taking away from Treasure. Like I said, I think they're all pretty talented. I mean, it's hard to do it with 12 members. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just hope they can find something that just works for them and that they can play with that sound. But
they're
we'll
still
see.
Pretty fun though. Yeah, they're still pretty fun. I would just put some of their songs in a playlist and just have it as background music.
Yeah, they're fun, and the members are really good entertainers too. I've seen some clips on crack video compilations, and the members are really fun. So, I see potential. I see potential.
Yeah, if you don't mind video with them and NCT going to McDonald's during Mama, check out video on Noonas _podcast. Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Ginny's making crack videos for us. So
more messages, especially with
there's always
talking about soon.
Yeah, as I fell down an emo hole because somebody decided to mash up My Chemical Romance and ATEEZ on Monday, and that just completely ruined me for the week.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, but let's get into the big story of the week. And I guess
Jenny, I hate to interrupt, but I finally got your letter for Christmas.
Yay!
Yeah,
it finally came a month later.
Right now.
I should open it on here.
I was trying to gently open it so you don't hear any ripping sounds. But oh my god!
Okay, just rip it open.
Thank you so much, Jenny. I think I even took a pic of photo cards. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I got you a whole set. I made a whole set for you. So
oh my god, I couldn't thank you. I couldn't thank you enough. Oh my gosh!
Well, geez, for those of you,
got the whole recording. Sorry, got 7. I'm gonna.
It's okay. She surprised me this week with a shirt. If you haven't seen on my Facebook page, Jenny Madisek, Jenny sent me a shirt of art that she made, and she's basically it's her and me because there's definitely me with Hobie stuff from BTS and her with NCT stuff, and yeah, it just says multi-stands. It's really awesome, and I'm really really happy to have that shirt. So.
Yeah, if you guys ever feel like you need a design, you can just call me and contact me.
Jenny makes awesome designs. So, but since we have a little bit of interlude here, I'm happy you got the photos. I really am.
I know. I didn't want to interrupt, but I got in and I started looking at the cards.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, I made her photo card. I made her BTS photo cards. It's a set of 7, one of each member, and they're the photos from the Dispatch shoot in New York City when they were in New York. I think promoting Map of the Soul 7. So, because they're the ones that are right by which.
This is Taeyoung's best look with the all black and just long hair and turtleneck. This is amazing.
Also, it helps because I was in New York right before they actually got to New York. I was in New York before pandemic, and actually got to see the art installation they had in Brooklyn for their promotion for Map of the Soul 7, which was really really cool. So, side story. Because I was meeting with a bunch of my other Noonas friends in New York City. So it just kind of was a nice memory of 2020, even though 2020 was mostly a crap year.
It was all right when everything was all right in the world.
Mostly all right in the world. So, but shall we get into it? Shall we get into the big news of the week? Okay, let's get into
down.
center myself. But we are going to get into the big, what probably has been the biggest story in the K-pop world to start 2021. It was kind of
it's mostly not.
teased.
It's not really a surprise though, because people are like kind of like, well, not really dreading, but expecting like, yeah, they're not really gonna make it, like with circumstances that's happening within them.
Yeah, I mean,
like the expiry date of their contract.
Right, exactly. So what we're talking about is the group, the really, I guess, really big Gen 3 group, GOT7, leaving JYP Entertainment. They'll be leaving effective January 19th. That is the date of their contract expiring. And then they're free men, quote unquote, I guess. Although it sounds like a lot of them are planning on signing onto different companies or doing more solo stuff. But from what it sounds like with them, because they've been doing they all have their own social media handles through Instagram and Twitter. I know they all put up the same photo because their last official promotion was the Golden Disc Awards this past weekend, in which they looked so happy. So I feel like it was like a weight off of their shoulders.
It was like, you think there's one part of me where it's like, oh man, it's like, they're thinking that they're not going to be together anymore. But there's like another side of me is like, you know what? After like hearing a lot of like stories or like rumors like spreading because of like JYP's lack of like management or lack of like giving like the respect that they have for GOT7, it's like, you know what? Good for them. I'm glad that they're like packing their bags and just like getting out of that hellhole.
Getting out of a bad situation that we've been kind of seeing for the last, I know I've been like seeing definitely for the last year. Like I think I was seeing it more like, especially with DIE. I don't know if it was happening with the previous album before them, because I know August had been talking for a long time about like, I guess quote unquote mistreatment. And by mistreatment, I mean, it's just like not a lot of support for their comebacks.
They're not being beaten up. They were just like, no, they're not being like repped well by like a company. Like, also like
with the management team. Cause I mean, I guess the way JYP broke it down, like there's different sections, and I think GOT7 was under section 2, and I'm not sure what all the sections mean, but they were under section 2, and they were just, I felt like kind of grossly mismanaged in terms of their promotions. Let's just even talk with their last album, Breath of Love Last Piece. They only got 2 weeks of like promotion, and they barely got promotion. Like there was a couple YouTube videos I saw, and maybe a couple, and maybe 1 or 2 stages, but like I didn't see a ton of promotion from them for Last Piece, or even for Breath. So I was just like, okay, like this is a full length album. Why aren't you promoting it?
Yeah, because I think it's like a flaws with a lot of like major K-pop business or like companies. It's like every time like they put up like have newer groups, it's like they always push like their old groups aside, is like, and they don't really like prioritize as equally as like what they have all of them. So that's like the thing with JYP is like when they have like when new group with Stray Kids, and I think they're paying more attention to Stray Kids, and then like just leaving GOT7 to like the side is like, yeah, whatever. Like Andy from Toy Story 2. I'm not gonna play with you anymore.
Yeah, something that, bye Woody, I don't want to play with you anymore. Kind of feels something like that. So I mean, because like I felt like with DIE, their mini album that they came out earlier in 2020, which I really did enjoy. There's a lot of promotion around that, because there's a lot of good crackhead content that came out from the whole era. And then like we had like a 7-month lull in between DIE and Breath of Love Last Piece, and like I said, the whole promotion for Breath of Love Last Piece was, I just think, really poorly mismanaged. And I think at that point, I think we all saw the writing was on the wall that I think they're not going to renew their contracts with JYP. I mean, renewing their contracts is a huge deal, because, I mean, when BTS re-signed their contracts with Big Hit, that was a huge deal. And they did that a year before their contracts were going to be up in 2020. And because they re-signed in 2019 for another 7 years. And I think at that point, then I think puts them to 2027. I'm not 100% sure if it's 2025 or 2027. I'm not 100% sure. But
yeah, I think also, I want to discuss like another thing that like might have led up to this decision. It's just like I think there's a lot of like as you hear in Hollywood creative differences. It's I think GOT7. You know how like they started out as like this really street savvy b-boy group, right? And they were one of, like, back then, like they were like one of the most like the loudest, like the more rowdy looking type of like boy group, because like back then they have like those bubbly looking styles with boy groups, but then they own their their hyperactive, energetic attitude. Is just like that's what I love about GOT7. It's just like they're just really always getting to historical antics, and then they're shameless in like a lot of their like stuff that they do, and I just like love about them because they're super hilarious. And
they really are. They really have they bring a lot of energy, a lot of swagger to their sound, especially their old stuff, like when they first debuted. But I think they still kept that, but like off camera, like when they're like doing like stuff off camera, like doing, or not off camera, but like stuff away from the stage, like when they're doing their live streams or stuff, like they're just hilarious guys. Like the seven of them together are hilarious.
Just loud, and just every time it's just like loud noises and screaming, and just that is typical GOT7 that I love.
I think there was rumors that like after the Fact Awards, they were doing a live stream on It was on Instagram or V Live, and apparently they were like keeping everybody up because they were so loud, because there's the seven of them in their hotel room. This is also where the infamous butt discussion comes from them, which has become like the hottest topic among like all the live streams as of late. Has been, is it one butt or two butts? This was one of the first like times that they were discussing it. But it just kind of lends to like that endearing quality that I think drew a lot of Agates into them.
Also, if I want to discuss it, because I've seen some like videos of them, like I think they still wanted to retain like that b-boy style into their music, but I think and I know like JB has a lot of like a lot of writing done in when producing music, but if it comes to like JYP, like their boss, I think really wants to put his creative elements into like their songs, and it almost becomes like it's not really like GOT7 anymore, like when they started gradually becoming into like more of a poppy boy band.
I think there's a huge example of that with Lullaby, their song Lullaby, which is a great song as it is, but if you listen to the demo, which I know JB actually played I think once on a live stream, and it's floating around on the internet, you listen to the demo and the demo is way better, but basically JYP squashed that down, saying, no, we're going to go this route instead. And I know, it's my way or nothing. And the Agates across the board say the demo is way better than what we actually got, even though I still do like Lullaby a lot. I still think it's a great song, but the demo is just so much better. And JB has been proven to be a great songwriter as it is. And I mean,
they've been like, it's really overshadowed by like their boss's influence, and it's like it's almost like he doesn't have like, faith in his boys. But now that since that they're done, like they don't have renewing their contracts, it gives me like more hope that like they're finally free to do what they want, and they finally can get into the music that they wanted to pursue this whole time. So that's why like it's a bittersweet thing, but I'm just really happy and hopeful about like their futures.
It's important.
It's not that they're gonna like separate like forever. Like I think they have now more freedom. They can like come together if they have like a project that they have in mind. It's like
I think so, because it's important to note that they never said that they are disbanding. They're not going off in their separate ways. They said they were continuously going to be GOT7. They all posted the same image and with the hashtag GOT7 forever. On all their social media platforms, all their individual social media platforms. And I know there's been a lot of rumors about each of them going off and signing with different groups. Like I think everybody's got rumors of where they're going to go. Apparently leader JB is being looked at by a famous hip hop label as well as a global music label, receiving offers for that. Mark's going home to LA, and he's going to have a YouTube channel, which I can totally see from him seeing him on Twitch streams as of late.
I kind of want to see him like with dive studios now, since like they're like,
I could see that too. That would be fantastic if he could hopefully do something dive studios US side. Jackson's going to be continuing with his Team Wang label. And he's going to be splitting his time between China and Korea. Jin Yun's apparently going to be signing with BH Entertainment because he's going to be focusing on acting more. And he's a very good actor. He's done quite a few. He's done quite a few K-dramas. I still need to go. I have a couple on my backlog that he's in that I need to go visit, but he's a really, really good actor. So to see him continuing with his acting career is really, really awesome to see.
Yoonjae, I heard he might be going to AOMG, like Yoonjae, the youngest member.
Yeah, which is to note that's Jay Park's label.
Who used to be JYP.
Who else used to be in JYP? Also a huge up and coming hip hop label in Korea. Like there's a lot of really great hip hop artists on AOMG. So to see him getting signed on there is fantastic. I know Bam Bam's talking about splitting time between Thailand and Korea. Probably he's going to sign with Make Us Entertainment because he's going to start doing some content production. So we'll see what happens with Bam Bam. I know his live streams are sometimes the most hilarious stuff because he's just super blunt in your face.
He's the epitome of like millennial or Gen Z kid. Like he's the one who constantly, incessantly dabs or like says skirt skirt every chance he gets. That's why you don't put the word speeches. Like he ends up like skirt skirt. Oh man!
So one of my favorite things is when Stray Kids was having they're having their album live stream, and they Bam Bam call them, and the first thing is like hello, and then Chan's like hello, and the first thing Bam Bam says out of the phone is skirt skirt. It's like
I started like saying that to my friends like every time I greet them. Skirt skirt.
So he's also to know because Bam Bam and Young were also part of the infamous 97 crew of like all the 97ers. Yeah, they're all really good friends, like Mingyu and DK and Jungkook and stuff. Yeah, like and exactly. Like they're part of the infamous 97 crew. Also to note, Young J 2 is also going reportedly, and this is actually I think was reported too by Sublime, reportedly going to sign with Sublime Artist Agency, which is also the label that has Rain and EXID's Hani.
JYP alumni.
Exactly. So yeah.
Foster parents. Help me.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. So I'm assuming they're all probably gonna go off and do like some solo projects and stuff and go like work on things that they want to work on. And because I know Jackson's been kind of teasing, he's been working on something with Team Wang. So
he's been making music after like the announcement. Like, whatever, making music.
Back to the studio. But I mean, I'm still looking forward to seeing everything that they do coming out of this post JYP era GOT7. The nice thing too is that they're going to be able to keep their name.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've heard too. That's what I've heard. So yeah, that they can keep their name, and then there's better, there's still a chance that they can come back and just make stuff together when they feel like it's
and hopefully like they can find a record label to do that with. Anybody, it doesn't matter who. Big hit. They're all like singing, big hit, big hit. But I mean, it's going to be it's a really good move for them. Like I'm really looking forward to it. It's a really, really good move. Yeah, and I'm so excited to see what's going to happen with all 7 of them. I hope they come back together for new music or even to like the tour, because I'm assuming if they keep the name, I guess they can keep some of the rights to the music and they could perform it. I don't know.
I started wondering like what so keep their name, but then what else they can be like keep.
I'm just wondering if they're going to have like the records to all their previous music, because like I kind of regret getting into K-pop so late that I haven't got to see a GOT7 concert, because apparently those were like insane shows. from a couple friends who've actually been to GOT7 shows, but apparently like even like a couple of their tours were really poorly mismanaged too. So like I said, them getting out of JYP is a really good thing. As much as I hype Stray Kids, like, and because Stray Kids, I feel like has a lot of autonomy within JYP, but now I'm worried, like, if there's another group like comes after Stray Kids, like, what's going to happen to Stray Kids?
Yeah, but the thing is, Stray Kids they produce their own stuff more like more than GOT7 was managed. So I think I'm not really like worried with them Stray Kids because I think they're in another like I don't know what you call like a section or something. So they can just still do do whatever they want. Hopefully.
So, but I guess before we go, do we want to share a couple of our favorite I guess GOT7 tracks, since we're kind of reminiscing about like the 7 years that we've had with these men?
Yeah, sure. Should I go first?
Yeah, go ahead, go first.
Okay. Yeah, because the thing is, I'm fairly a new like K-pop fan, so I'm still exploring a lot of like songs from a lot of groups. The only like, thing I have with GOT7 is just like their main hits. So I have top 3. So like my number 3 was Just Right, under the Just Right EP. Yeah, you guys should like check out the music video because it's one of like the like iconic third gen K-pop videos, and it's like a really bright and bubbly song. Number 2 is like their debut track, Girls, 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 because I really love, I really like the cheesy third gen style of like the fashion and the music. It's like in the like really hardcore b-boy, like music genre in there. And then my top one is Hard Carry, like the classic GOT7 song. It's from like their Flight Log Turbulence album. Yeah, I think because like I think for me Hard Carry like really epitomizes them, like who they are as a group. GOT7 like really aggressive and has like the like unruly bravado with a punk boyish attitude. And with GOT7 they have like a lot of like either like breakdancing, and they do like incorporate like martial arts elements into like their dance. So yeah, go check out like their hit songs. Also would like to strongly recommend looking into Jackson Wang's some solo songs. I have like 6 I have in mind. One is like Papillon. Number 5 is 100 Ways. That's more of like a newer song. Number 4 is Oxygen. It's a bit of like a sexy jam that you like should listen to. Number 3 is Titanic. I really love the beat into it. Number 2 is Okay, which another sexy song you can listen to. And my number 1 is Pretty Please. It's like a club banger.
Which just came out this past past summer or fall. I think was Pretty Please. So.
Yeah, and I wish I brought him on board, but I had a friend named Maximus Turner, and he's a really like a big GOT7 fan. I could consider him being an Agassi, and I've been seeing following his like the updates when he heard the news about like GOT7 not renewing their contracts, and he felt pretty broken up about it. Yeah, and then so I asked him or discussed with him quickly last night if he has some suggestions that he can show or share with the people who are not familiar with them, and he had 5. Okay. So his 5th pick was Sign, and then his number 4 is Love You Better. Number 3
That's a
is
good song.
Oh, You Love You Better.
It is.
Number 3 is My Home from the Flight Log Turbulence, and number 2 is Can't from the Fly album, the Fly era, and his top pick is If You Do, which is a title track from GOT7's discography, which is I also like that song too, and that is his personal favorite, and which he shared when we heard the news about GOT7. So if you want to hear more more stuff and more information about GOT7, I think you should pretty much go to him and ask him some more suggestions.
Yeah, I also have to give a shout out there's a couple Japanese singles of theirs, My Swagger and I Will Let You Go from early in their career that are great bangers. I Won't Let You Go is a very sweet romantic song. My Swagger is just full on GOT7. It's almost like the Japanese version of hard carry, I guess, in a way. Like it's got that like, bravado to it. So, but yeah, I also do love hard carry and girls. Like those are such great GOT7 tracks. Such like that, like epitomizes like Generation 3 like era in terms of like what the sound was around that time. Like we're talking like 2014, 2015 era K-pop. So, but even like their new stuff too, like Not by the Moon from their previous album, I really did enjoy as well. I really did actually like a lot of stuff that came from Die too, which I mean, obviously I think not quite what you'd think for GOT7, but I really did enjoy because they still kind of have that bit of a swagger in that you can kind of tell. But I'm just really excited to see what's going to happen in the future because I mean we're going to get a lot of awesome solo content from these guys.
Oh yeah,
and I can't wait for them to hopefully find a way to get back together to hopefully release new music as GOT7, even if it's a year or two down the road. So
yeah, give them time, and this is like their like well-deserved break.
Yeah. Also, because I mean. Also, 4 of them do have to do military service too. So,
I forgot about that too.
Yeah, because we still have to have his JB, Jin Young, Young Jae, and Young also have to do military service because Jackson, Bam Bam, and Mark don't have to because they're not Korean-born citizens. So they're the foreigners of the group, so they don't have to do military service. Although that also reminds me, to check out when Bam Bam was on. He was on this reality show where like they had like some of the foreign like idols on the show and actually doing some of the military like training and stuff that they had to do. It's some really funny content.
Yeah, didn't one of them like say like, no, I need this like because they had to bring like certain necessary stuff into like the military, and then when they find something else and then they they take it away and confiscate it, and like, wait, but I need that, then I need the teeth.
No, my favorite thing is just when he's sitting there, it's like, and you just like speak more in a manly voice, and he's like, "Sir, this is how my voice is. Like, this is I hit puberty, and this is all I got."
Man, that's how my voice sounds.
Maybe I'm hilarious.
Yeah, I love it. Like, even like there's like the meme, like they made a meme out of this, like the sentimental moment because I think he was tearing up. I think when they had to read like letters in case they die, and then like Bam Bam was like tearing up, and then they took his picture and like cries and bruh. Oh man! Like take away his serious moments. Nope.
Yep. That's Bam Bam in a nutshell, actually. So
never take him seriously.
He's never. Yeah, he's definitely a millennial. He's a millennial like us guys. But yeah, that's this week for the Noonas podcast. Like I said, kicking off of the year, kind of crazy, but I mean, we got plenty more coming down the road. I know there's a few albums coming out towards the end of the month. I know I'm really, really excited because Dreamcatcher's coming out with a new album, and they just released their light stick, and it looks like a staff. And also they have quotes. So I'm not going to say it's a cult, but it might be a cult. Also, just they have a staff that lights up. It's not like a light stick; it is a staff, like a long stick, and they also have dark robes, dark clothes that you will like wear with a hood. So if you go to their concert, it's going to look like a cult, like a massive cult ritual. Yeah, I mean, it kind of works with their like whole horror-esque theme. So I think it works.
Style.
It works very well. Also, like people are comparing it to Luna's light stick because Luna's light stick looks like the one from Sailor Moon. So we're getting these very like nerdy-esque light sticks, which I appreciate as a nerd. I very much appreciate. So. But I mean, I'm not sure it's all on the plate for next week. I know we're still talking about trying to get some new content for you guys coming this year when we get some slower periods, because I still kind of want to keep it weekly, just in case anything major comes up in terms of like K-pop news. But thankfully we're kind of hitting a bit of a nice quiet lull, maybe. Possibly. I'm not sure. Who knows? It's K-pop. Anything can happen in this industry. So
like doing us like a Beyonce style surprise like track. What? God damn it.
Although rumors has it apparently there's now a new version of B coming out, and I'm just like, okay, y'all really need to stop because I have like no money right now.
Yeah. And you guys are
So-
like winning like throughout the year too.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But until next week, you guys, we'll see you then. Anyo and fighting.
Fighting.